Hey folks, well today is September 10th. Tomorrow is the 10-year anniversary of 9/11. I can't believe it's been 10 years already. I feel like I should still be 22 years old. I was 22 when it happened and now I'm 32 and I feel like I should still be 22, and so the time has just gone by so fast. But I've been sitting here all morning watching people's videos about what they were doing on 9/11. And I realized I had never done a video like that. In 5 years on YouTube, I've never made a 9/11 video, and so, of course, everybody remembers what they were doing on 9/11, except some of the younger people. I was talking to a middle school teacher this morning that was staying at the hotel, and she said that she was very shocked to find out that a lot of her students don't know anything about September 11th or what happened or where it happened or anything. And I found that very surprising, but I remember where I was because my day started off, I work the overnight shift, and I always have, regardless of where I work, it seems like I always work the graveyard shift. So I was working at a grocery store at the time, and so my September 11th started off the night of September 10th. I was working 11 to 7, and on Monday nights I worked at the cash register at the grocery store. Now that was my only nights working the register. The other nights I was the manager on duty. I was a night manager. Basically, there was only me and the cashier there most nights, and I didn't do anything except straighten up the store, and she ran the register, and a very peaceful job. Just like my job now is peaceful. But, so on Monday nights I ran the cash register, and the stock crew was there, and I didn't like that because I didn't like being there with them because they're all so manly men, and you know how men are, you know how straight men are when they get together. They like to belch and all that stuff, and I just don't like that very much. So anyways, I went to work at 11 o'clock on September 10th, and it was a pretty uneventful night for the first little while, and then about 2 o'clock in the morning I had to go to the bathroom. And so I locked the doors up, and I went to the bathroom, and lo and behold, what is waiting outside the bathroom door for me? A snake! There was a snake in the store. It wasn't a very big snake, but he was just slithering around. So I went back into the stockroom and told the stockers, guys, there's a snake out here. Well, they came out there and they peeked out the door. They wouldn't even come out there, though. They wouldn't come out there and get that snake. I had to get the snake, and let me tell you, I was very gay at the time. I was a young gay, and a lot of people, like when they're younger gay, they're really gay. And so I was really gay. I know I was really skinny at the time, and I had like blonde hair. I was just as gay as they get. And you got this whole stock crew of manly men. They wouldn't even get the snake. So I got one of those wet floor cones, and I put it on top of the snake, and I ushered him out the back door. They were all just like walking behind me like a bunch of little girls. So anyway, that was strange enough. So my night got off to a very strange start. And then a little while later, my mom called me, which she never does. My mom never called me in the middle of the night. But she couldn't sleep, so she called me just to see what was going on. And so we talked for a little while. And then I think it was around 6 o'clock, the manager that was there. Now, see, I was a manager, but he was a manager over me, but he wasn't really like my manager, but he was like a higher ranking manager, you know what I mean? So he came up to the front of the store and said that somebody had dropped a bottle of Pepsi, and I needed to find out who it was so they could clean it up. And, well, the guy that was waiting in line to check out had told me that he had dropped a bottle of Pepsi, and I said, that's okay, don't worry about it. And so the guy looked at him and said, are you talking to me? And the manager looked at him and said, was I looking at you? Did you think I was talking to you? And so they ended up getting into an argument there, and then I ended up getting into an argument with the manager because he was being so rude. I told him he needed a class in customer service because you just don't talk to people like that. When was the last time you went in a grocery store and heard the manager tell a customer that if they drop it, they have to clean it up? That was very crazy, and so we ended up getting into a huge argument. I went and cleaned it up myself, and then I left. And as I was standing at the time clock, he said, oh, you just need to punch out and go home. I said, what the hell do you think it is I'm doing? I'm punching out and going home. He said, well, don't bother coming back. I said, yeah, right. You think you can fire me? He couldn't fire me because he wasn't really my manager, but I just had enough of his mouth that night. So I went on home, and at 7 o'clock I came back and talked to the store manager, and he told me don't worry about it. Of course I knew don't worry about it because the only reason this guy had his job is because I had refused to take it like 3 times. I'd already been offered it 3 times. But it was only a little while, it was only like a couple of months later that I did decide to take it. So they demoted him and promoted me, and then I became his boss. It didn't last much longer after that. So anyway, the morning of September 11th I got home. after I went back and talked to the manager, and I was going to lay in bed and watch The Lost World. Now, some of you might remember that show. It only lasted for 3 seasons, but it was my favorite show at the time. So I would record it and put it on VHS tape. God, VHS. And so I put that in and watched it. I was going to lay in bed and go to sleep. Now, my sister, who lives with me, she was working at a hotel, and she had gone to work. She was working 7 to 3 that day. And she called me about 8 something, and I was laying there just about to doze off, and she called me and she said, "Turn on the news." I said, "Why? I'm trying to sleep." And she said, "A plane has hit the World Trade Center." I said, "Well," I didn't even know what the World Trade Center was. I'd never been to New York. The only thing I knew about New York was the Empire State Building, and I probably couldn't even have pulled that building out of a lineup. So, so I turned on the news and I saw the videos of the building on fire, and so I said, well, okay, there's a stupid pilot who's done flown into this building. Now leave me alone. I'm going back to sleep. And so I laid there for a few minutes, trying to go back to sleep as I watched it, but it was very interesting to watch. And so as I was laying there, I saw the second plane hit, and the big fireball went in the air. Well, I sat right up then, and I called my mom. I said, "Are you watching the news?" And she was watching the news at the time. Of course, you didn't even have to be watching the news. By this point, there was nothing else on TV that you could watch. I mean, even the cable channels were all commandeered by news. And it was just something else. And I ended up glued to the TV all day. And then, you had the plane hit the Pentagon and the one to go down in Pennsylvania. It was like something was going on. You didn't know what was happening. I was kind of afraid to leave the house because you didn't know where a plane was going to come down next. Thinking back on it now, while I was ushering that snake out of the store, most of those people were laying in their bed asleep without a care in the world. And by the time my day came to an end, I was watching them live on TV jump out of the World Trade Center. I mean, that's just awful. Back a few years ago, I used to argue with some of the truthers, that's what they call them, the conspiracy theorists online. And boy, that's actually one of the first reasons I came to YouTube. It was one of the things I was going to talk about. Well, I was just going to come on YouTube and talk about everything. But I ended up, I've kind of grown into my channel now, and I like to keep it lighthearted. So I don't like all that serious stuff talked about on my channel, but I am thinking about start making videos for my second channel, because I created a second channel back a couple of years ago, but I don't have any videos on it. But I think I am going to start using it because, I like to keep my Hotel Angel channel lighthearted. I like to have fun with it. But sometimes, every once in a while, there's something serious that I want to talk about, like September 11th. And I just don't like to get people all into a tizzy on my Hotel Angel channel. So I think I will start using my second channel. It's youtube.com/second channel. So subscribe to me there, and maybe I'll start making videos soon. But some more serious stuff like the election coming up and September 11th and some court cases and stuff. The Casey Anthony trial, if I had thought about it, I would have been making videos on my second channel, because I would love to talk about that. But I don't like to get people all worked up on the Hotel Angel channel. I do it for fun, and so I like to keep it fun. I don't want it to get too serious. Plus, video responses. I can make video responses with my second channel, because a lot of times I'll be subscribed to somebody and then they'll get all into making video responses, which I would love to make video responses, and I love to watch them when other people do them. But sometimes I'll be subscribed to somebody and they don't do anything, and they just quit making their own videos, and they don't do anything except make video responses. And then I have to chase down the original video, and it becomes impossible to keep up with, and so I end up unsubscribing to them. And I didn't want that to happen to me, so I'll just use my second channel for stuff like that. So subscribe to me there if you want to, if you can be an adult. I know most of my friends here can be adults and have, civil conversations, but boy, some people, I can't even talk about American Idol without getting people worked up sometimes, so I like to keep it in a separate place. But so anyway, or you could be my Facebook friend. If you're my Facebook friend, I post everything there anyway. My air conditioner's making a funny noise. So anyway, what were you all doing on September 11th? Leave a comment, or a video response would be nice, especially if you have a second channel and you don't have to tie up your channel with that. If you have a camera, make a video response if you want to. Anyway, so I'll see you folks later.